Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Elkriki and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilay Tiambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Usur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, UN to stand by Pacific Islands in climate fight. All COP funds accounted for, says government. And FSC assures of successful crushing season.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spate.
The United Nations Secretary-General Antonio Guterres today taking a page out of Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama's book, calling climate change the battle of our lives. Addressing Parliament and the nation, Guterres reaffirmed the UN's position to stand by Fiji and the Pacific, given the evident impacts of climate change on our people. Maggie Boyle reports.
On behalf of the members of Parliament,
the UNSG reiterating that climate change is a global fight, one in which Fiji has led the rest of the world.
And climate change is the defining issue of our time. The Prime Minister just told me in our meeting that it is the battle of our lives. It is the reason for my visit to the Pacific region.
Urging developed countries to do more, the UNSG says they need to be accountable to their initial pledge of raising $100 billion annually.
Pricing that reflects the true cost of emissions from climate risk to the health hazards of air pollution. It means not starting construction of new plants by coal beyond 2020. And it means replacing jobs in traditional fossil fuel industries with cleaner, healthier alternatives, so the transformation is inclusive, profitable and just.
The head of the UN also highlighting that Fiji continues to punch above its weight, setting a global example. The Pacific tour, the UNSG explains, is to reaffirm the importance of the region and recognition of its fight against climate change. In September, the UN will hold a climate action summit that's expected to be a game changer against the global crisis. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the UN Secretary-General attended a wreath-laying ceremony at the National War Memorial in Assese, Suva this morning. Antonio Guterres paid his respects to the fallen soldiers in the presence of more than 100 officers from the Fiji military forces and the police force. He also took out time to meet with a number of ex-servicemen and wives of fallen soldiers. Yesterday, the UNSG had highlighted that Fijians are well known for their determination and courage in peacekeeping operations. He says Fijian peacekeepers have made countless sacrifices in some of the most dangerous places in the world to protect the lives of the vulnerable. And Kelly Vavala joins us now. Kelly, what are the implications of the UNSG's visit here in terms of Fiji's continued fight against climate change?
Yes, Jackie, firstly, this is a recognition for Fiji's efforts in dealing with climate change. Today, his engagements have been more personal. A one-on-one meeting with the Prime Minister. He addressed Parliament and held discussions with climate youth activists and even school children. The UNSG says that other countries can learn from Fiji's example, and it was good to note that today, the German Chancellor has pledged to make Germany carbon neutral by 2050. So Fiji's leadership on climate change has really set the benchmark. From here, the UNSG will be traveling to Tuvalu tomorrow to continue his Pacific tour. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that update, Kelly. Opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka and National Federation Party leader Professor Biman Prasad's allegations of misuse of climate action funds have been battered with the truth. While replying to these allegations in Parliament, Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Qayyum clarified the funds are utilised in a transparent manner. Ali Kimbia with the story.
Biman Prasad and Sitiveni Rambuka questioned the utilisation of funds, with Rambuka claiming that evidence suggests misappropriate of climate funds.
Have the funds, or will the funds, in this case that we are debating, be truly used for climate action?
I hope to hear from the Attorney General his response to the just revealed information by the Leader of the Opposition.
Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Kayum clarified the funds were audited by an independent auditor and all donors were aware of how funds were utilized.
Nobody to date has raised a single objection because they have a better understanding and appreciation, unlike you people.
Rambuka also claimed that Said Kayum violated the procurement procedures by awarding Govis $4.6 million communications contract for Fiji's co-presidency.
Irrefutable evidence proves the Honorable Attorney General and Minister for the Economy waived procurement regulations of 2010 and engaged the services of Govis.
The reality of the matter is that today the COP23 presidency website, which was actually started by the Corvus Group, has been the most engaged COP presidency website ever.
Said Kayum says the accountability and transparency of the utilization of climate action funds speaks for itself as all donors are aware of how funds are utilized. Ali Kimbia, FBC News.
The Public Enterprise Minister has lashed out at the opposition to stop becoming personal in Parliament and rely on the facts that are present. While debating on the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation's 2010 to 2015 annual reports, Minister Ayaz Said Kayum said too often opposition MPs put their personal agenda ahead of their roles in Parliament. Rachel Nath reports.
Opposition MP Nico Nawaikula claims the broadcasting house has no ethics.
We all know that FBC is a bad institution. Bad institution. It has diverted from its role.
Standards of journalism is guided by the Media Industry Development Act. You have the right to lodge a complaint about any media organization that you believe is not adhering to the standards set out in MIDA. And you have a right to complain, and people actually have done so about various media organizations. I think the Honorable Nawaikula is very aggrieved of a recent story that was done by, I think, one of the journalists called Aliki. And he went ahead, and that's what he said in the end. And that's what the problem is.
The opposition also debated over the then money now known as the public service broadcast fee being classified as income.
So the question is that justified, that kind of statement that there is a shortfall? My view is that it's not, because they need to work out what exactly is public service.
Auditor disagreed with the government, with them, that this should be income. But they put it in. And in that year, it turned out, after 5 years, loss, suddenly profit.
The matter is, Mr. Speaker, sir, we need to understand that the product of any radio station or TV station is your airtime. The amount of return that you get from it, that becomes public service broadcast. And the costing of that is in excess of $20 million. We negotiate and run them down for it, because government can only afford that much.
It was never free money. It was for a service that we have provided, and that fee was never to the value of the service that we provided.
The FBC has made a collective loss of about $18 million between 2010 to 2014. However, this was mainly due to the setup of FBC TV. A turnaround has been made from 2016 onwards with positive profits to date. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
The Fiji Sugar Corporation is determined to ensure that mill breakdowns for the 2019 crushing season will be minimum. This was a major problem, especially at the Rarawai mill in Ba during the last crushing season, but FSC has invested millions of dollars in repairs to ensure the smooth running of the mills. Felipe Naikaso has more.
With the dates set for the crushing season, the Fiji Sugar Corporation is now fine-tuning the sugar mills.
You've got to realize we're dealing with very old pieces of equipment. These mills have been around for a long time, but we recognize that we've got the capacity, we've got the ability to run them better. So really the focus of our engineering efforts over the last 2 years has been to make the mills more reliable.
The FSC is targeting to harvest 1.9 million tons of sugarcane and is confident the farmers will be able to bring this in.
So we're expecting about 210,000 tons of sugar. That should give us about 5 bulk raw sugar shipments out of Lautoka and Malau in Lambasa. and enable us to fully supply the local market and the Pacific Island market that we're growing as well.
There has also been positive progress in terms of cane farming in the Western Division.
Yes, we are all looking forward to the 2019 crushing season, and with the weather also on our side, I'm expecting huge cane to be harvested.
They're getting the machine from the India, the operators all from the India, and myself I'm doing the canvassing for those people, helping them, and now the thing is in field, they're working good.
The Lautoka mill will start crushing on June 13th, the Lambasa mill on the 6th of June, while the Rarawai mill will begin crushing on June 25th. Philip and Ikaso, FBC News.
Still to come, restructure of police force underway. And Justin Ho's bail ruling deferred. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Hoya uvasit sai sa Lambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Gua da tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere.
Wana tunga Nambula FM nambandua ya nasere nawaluan.
Na evengo fani na tao.
A heated debate erupted in Parliament this afternoon with the word slavery being used during the ministerial statement on the Asia Development Bank meeting. Attorney General Ayaz Said Qayyum took grave offence to the word being used as he was speaking about the youth volunteers at the ADB meeting. Savarit Tambor reports.
Economy Minister rubbishing the utterances made by the opposition member.
Slavery? What nonsense are you talking about? These are university students who agreed to the meal allowances, the transportation. They were paid allowances on a daily basis. Slavery is when you force somebody to do something they don't want to do.
This was a continuation from where National Federation Party MP Lenorangeranger Tambua, who earlier claimed that volunteers were not paid on time.
Sadly, the government's procurement of their services as quote-unquote volunteers with unclear and unwritten expectations on their volunteering payment, which was minimal, by the way, and what I understand to be around $40 a day for meal allowance plus transport. Many of these young people were not paid in full as verbally agreed, and I hope to goodness that the government has done right by them now.
But I spoke to literally hundreds of the volunteers, and they were very glad to be there, very glad to be made part and parcel of this historic occasion. And I can tell you that all of them have been paid. You don't even know your facts.
Syed Qayyum says all volunteers have been paid for their services during the meeting. Sawira Tambua, FBC News.
A 5-year restructure and reform project is underway at the Fiji Police Force aimed at aligning the strategy, capabilities and resources of the institution. Defence Minister Nia Seruratu revealed a key component of the restructure will include special constables being regularised. Kelly Vadala reports.
Around 600 new officers will join the police force this year, of which 400 have already been trained.
First on the manning level, because the plan is in the next 5 years is to almost double the number of policemen and women in the country. Currently we have about 3,241. And the intention is to increase it to about 7,582.
Meanwhile, opposition member Pio Tikundundua questioned the minister on the professionalism of some officers.
The Honourable Prime Minister called some rogue in the way that they treated some reporters from overseas. In the papers, it talked about the lack of vehicles in Nakasi responding to a very specific case last week where someone died. And only recently we're hearing where the police to the degree of intimidating LGBT people planning a march.
We are looking at all avenues in which we can utilize the experiences and, of course, the knowledge and technology in the other police forces as well. And with this, the training for our people.
The minister says the police force is also far ahead of the Fiji military forces in terms of updating its policy and legal documents. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The opposition SEDELPA party is tonight standing by University of Fiji academic Dr. Lithiana Kurindrani's recent racist comments to a law student that compared him to a barking Indian dog. SEDELPA party leader Sitiveni Rambuka and Dr. Kurindrani's husband, who is also a member of parliament, have backed Dr. Kurindrani's claims that the statement was common non-racist Itauke idiom. Meanwhile, the National Federation party leader Biman Prasad says although the statement could be perceived by some as racist, he doesn't think anyone should make a big deal of it. Rachel Nath with the story.
Whilst calling a student to not bark like an Indian dog may require lots of damage control, who better than your spouse to come to your defense?
I know my wife and she does not have that type of personality, but what she said is very clear. I believe there's no element of racism or any element of discrimination in that word, because it's a Fijian idiom, and it'll take a Fijian person to understand what is a Fijian Indian.
SEDELPA leader Sitiveni Rambuka is also in the same boat, agreeing with linguist Paul Goretti that the statement is simply a common Itauke idiom.
It's not racist.
I think it's non-racist. It's like as it explained, a Fijian idiom.
A very cautious NFP leader, Professor Biman Prasad, says whilst care should be taken when using certain phrases, he doesn't believe Dr. Kurindrani's barking like an Indian dog comment should be given too much attention.
So to me, I really don't think we should make it a big issue in the sense that, it was said by one particular person.
The student at the receiving end of Dr. Kurindrani's colourful comments, Filipe Bainivalu, has called for the academic suspension pending investigation by the university management. A response on this matter will be given by the Vice-Chancellor tomorrow. Rachel Nath, FBC News.
Regardless of the sexual orientation or gender identity, everyone has equal rights to access opportunities and services. This as the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer and intersex community in Fiji are claiming they still face challenges in accessing justice due to the fear of being victimized. Kritika Kumar reports.
Rainbow Pride Foundation's founder Isikeli Vulavo says protection and legal services for the LGBTQI members needs to be enhanced.
Many members of our community are still unable to access justice due to fear of being outed, victimized, mistreated, harassed, or denied service outright. This is why we need more legal and policy reforms to ensure justice and protection.
Vulavo adds the community faces challenges from a young age.
The challenges related to identifying as LGBTQI+ often combine with other factors of exclusion such as age, class, race, and religion, making gender inequality and exclusion often worse for LGBTQI+ youth.
House of Chameleon Chair Suli Kwanga says new mechanisms needs to be put in place for the protection of the LGBTQI community.
Policy protection and constitutional protection for LGBT people cannot in itself alone, ensure full realization of the protection of LGBT people from violence, abuse, attack, and all of that.
The International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biophobia will be celebrated tomorrow with the theme Justice and Protection for All. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The bail ruling for Justin Ho, who is facing drug-related charges, will now be called tomorrow at the Lautoka High Court. This is after the judge noted that Justin Ho has a bribery case with FICAC before the Nandi Magistrates Court. The judge has requested DPP to provide full details of Ho's other case before he gives his bail ruling. The 28-year-old is charged with 1 count of unlawful importation and exportation. He is also facing 1 count of unlawful possession, manufacture, cultivation and supply. It is alleged without lawful authority, Ho facilitated an exporting of 2 parcels weighing more than 2 kilograms of cocaine and illicit drugs in December last year. Coming up in sports with Jamie, weightlifting Fiji ready for Junior World Championship, but Rachel joins us with the latest in business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, Fiji still deciding on Pacer Plus. And in growing Fiji FRA to carry out culvert replacing in Kandavu. Stay with us.
For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singatoka. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coral Coast, Singatoka. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger.
In business tonight, it seems like the PACER Plus agreement won't be signed anytime soon. Today, the reasons were explained in Parliament after opposition MP William Ngavoka questioned why Fiji is doing feasible studies on the agreement when all other countries have signed up for it. Anna Ravulo reports.
Following an advertisement in one of the newspapers on the expression of interest to carry out feasibility studies on the PACER Plus agreement, William Ngavoka questioned government what is it waiting for.
We spoke with visitors from the Australian government, and we spoke about PACER Plus, and they said the key element for countries like Fiji is the way we help you access our markets.
Firing back, the Minister for Trade says Fiji cannot afford to blindly follow other countries.
We have looked at the PACER Plus agreement. There are various clauses in there that we are not comfortable with, because that will restrict our trade with other trading partners.
Clearly stated, signing the PACER Plus will mean losing 90% of Fiji's tariffs.
Any Australian and New Zealand product that will come into Fiji will be allowed duty-free. Now, we do export to Australia and New Zealand, but on balance of trade is not that high. It's not in our favor, I should say. So obviously our tariff revenue will completely go.
Countries in the PACER Plus agreement include Australia, New Zealand, the Cook Islands, Kiribati, Nauru, Niue, Samoa, Solomon Islands, Tonga, Tuvalu and Vanuatu. Anna Ravulo, FBC News.
And we now join Sanifa from HFC Bank with the latest from the Money World.
In the forex market today, Australia's unemployment rate has pushed higher for the second consecutive month. In seasonally adjusted terms, their unemployment rate ticked up to 5.2% in April. The increase was considerably higher than the Reserve Bank of Australia's hopes for an improved outlook. The US President Donald Trump is planning to delay tariffs on auto imports. This provided the much-needed relief to markets hit by a flare-up in trade tensions and on weak US and Chinese economic data. Meanwhile, traders are increasing bets on the US Federal Reserve cutting borrowing costs later this year. In the latest numbers released, their core retail sales unexpectedly fell in April as households cut back on purchases of motor vehicles and a range of other goods. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Anifa. Here today's exchange rates as it was set this morning. The Fiji dollar remained weak against the Chinese yuan, the US greenback and the euro, as well as the Japanese yen. It strengthened against our major trading partners, Australia and New Zealand, as well as the PNG Kina. Looking at the commodities market, the price of oil rose closing at over $62 a barrel. Gold was down at $1,295 an ounce, and silver followed suit at $14.75 an ounce. And in growing Fiji tonight, the culvert crossing in Kambariki village in Kandavu will be temporarily closed this Sunday. The closure will allow Fiji Roads Authority contractors to carry out redevelopment. During this time, access will be prohibited and there will be no detour posted. The FRA says road closure advisory signs have been posted in advance and motorists are requested to plan their travel accordingly. The FRA will have standby vehicles available on both sides of the crossing to cater for emergency events. And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie's up next with sports.
Thanks, Rachel, and good evening. Up ahead in sports, character building vital for Fiji Sevens, and Costin to name Fiji resident squad next week. There's some more coming up.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm a Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Kritika from Jackson Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways 7's assistant coach Kane Jury has revealed a lot of their preparations for the last leg of the series has been done away from the rugby pitch. Jury says over the past few weeks, player development has been centered on character building. Kuretandulala has more.
A different approach was used by Seven's coaching staff to groom the players for the London and Paris tournaments.
Actually, believe it or not, a lot of our development for these two legs has been off the field. So it's been mental skills. It's been going into the community as well and going to retirement homes or going into the Children's Hospital. So actually, our rugby has actually stayed the same. So our restarts, our defence, nothing's really changed. It's all been about developing as better people, and they've taken that on, and these men have grown a huge amount since then.
With only one leg left in the series, Fiji aims to win both tournaments in order to grab the series title.
The focus in these two last legs is just to win the two legs, and yes, we are looking forward to the challenge, and the boys are ready for the job.
The Sevens Gladiators last won the series title in the 2015-2016 season and finished second in the last series. Meanwhile, the London Sevens will be held from the 25th to the 27th of this month, and Fiji is pooled with Kenya, France and Samoa. Kuretandulala, FBC Sports.
Weightlifting Fiji is confident that the 8 lifters chosen to represent Fiji at the Junior World Championship this year will do us proud. With the exception of Timothy Vakuruivalu, this will be the first international tournament for the other 7 lifters. Coach Henry Elder says the athletes have put in a lot of time to prepare for the event, and Fiji should rally behind them as they are the future of the sport in the country.
In December, we've had trials. The Pacific Games trials also worked as trials for the Junior World Championships also. So we've worked hard. Up until recently, we've been having double sessions. On some occasions, we've had triple sessions. So athletes are working hard. We've obviously got a big immense task ahead of us. The Junior World Championships is the biggest thing next to the World Championships for weightlifting.
Fiji National Rugby League coach Brandon Costin will name his extended squad next week for the match against the Tonga residents. Costin says he's impressed with the skills shown in the Vodafone Cup tournament so far, and this will form the basis of his selection. He adds the standard of rugby league in Fiji has risen significantly with growing interest from students around the country.
Things are moving really well with the Vodafone Cup. I think the competition has gone from strength to strength over the last few months. We've really worked hard on opening the game and improving the refereeing. And I think the players are actually playing a lot better standard of rugby league at the moment. So it's going to be really exciting once we get our top 25 players into a squad and start to develop them moving forward to playing those test matches.
Sports Minister Parvin Kumar today told Parliament his ministry respects the decision made by Athletics Fiji regarding athlete Yashnil Karan. There's been a lot of debate since the Coca-Cola Games long distance champion was left out of Fiji's Pacific Games athletics team. However, Kumar says Athletics Fiji has provided the ministry with an explanation on its decision. He is now urging everyone to accept it and to continue to support the budding athlete. Kuretandulala reports.
The sports minister says the decision made by Athletics Fiji is final.
As Minister for Sports, I would like to ask all his fans to respect his decision. Mr. Speaker said, Athletics Fiji responded to and clarified some of the issues that my ministry raised with them in public interest regarding the non-selection. I join Yashnil to show respect for the decision and to allow Team Fiji to continue their preparation for the Pacific Games to bring glory to our country without undue distraction.
Kumar says Karan still has a long way to go in the future.
I, with the rest of the country, will follow with the interest the pathways that Athletics Fiji comes up with for Yashnil in the coming months and years.
Karan won the 1,500 and 3,000 meter race during the Co-Games last month, but according to Athletics Fiji, he did not meet the criteria to be selected for the Pacific Games. Kuroy Tandulala, FBC Sports.
Flying the Fijian flag is nothing new for national football captain Roy Krishna. But fresh off being named the best player in football's A-League, the Wellington Phoenix striker is keen to use his platform to grow the game even more in Fiji. Steph and Seth Curry have become the first brothers to play in the NBA's Western Conference Finals as the Golden State Warriors yesterday hosted the Portland Trail Blazers in Game 1 of their series. Today's play of the day, a goal you don't see too often in a football final. This one coming in the OFC Champions League final last weekend, where a sensational 60-meter strike sealed a historic first ever regional title for New Caledonia's Yen Sports. Check it out. That's it from sports tonight. You can join Angie later on with weather, and in the new media segment, check out DJI's Osmo action camera that's being tipped to challenge GoPro. That's coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से जैसे ट्रेनी नोट मशहूर है वैसे रेडियो फीजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फीजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फीजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर जैसे रग्बी फेमस है वैसे।
This waterproof camera has a lot of what we like about the GoPro Hero 7 Black, but adds dual color screens. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What more can we want from this weather? It's not too muggy, not sticky. It's perfect. I'm loving it and hope you are as well. Taking a look in the west, it's a bit different here. Sunny spells are quite active. Perfect holiday spot if you're in search for longer sun time. East-west from Peck Harbour to Suva, it was cool with some showers swinging by in the afternoon. And up north, sunny spells were active but turned gloomy later on. At sea, southeast winds gusting 10 to 15 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, high tide at 5:03 a.m. with low tide at 11:23 a.m. Sunrise at 6:25. For tomorrow, there isn't much signs of showers. However, the day is expected to remain much like today. Tomorrow's temps, the capital city Suva will be the coolest at 28 degrees. And looking further on to Saturday, going to town or just hanging out with friends, do think about taking an umbrella with you just in case. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should police maintain the current presence for the next few months?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's very important that the police should start, well, they should monitor the roads because if you look at the recent crimes and the activities that are happening around the streets of Suva, it's just very dangerous.
Yes, I think we should have this kind of security because we have got dignitaries visiting us and it's normal protocol in other countries as long as they don't affect our normal daily activities.
It's a good idea because talking in terms of security, not should only be when we have high-level people coming into the country that we strengthen our security system.
Recapping the main stories for tonight, UN to stand by Pacific Islands in climate fight. All COP funds accounted for, says government. And FSC assures of successful crushing season. For these stories and others, tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. Our poll question this week, we're asking, should people stop using racist idioms? Visit our FBC website to answer. A shot of the day sent in by Azhar Ali, taken at Ellington Wharf in Rakiraki. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj. Share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. Follow us on Twitter at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
Bula, nevan go malakay leloma, ngongai nakas ondu magrong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Hoya o basit sai sa Lambasa, ya ondu talita ina warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Guya do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere namuan.
Nevan go fani na tao no go singa toka, kita ondu talita ka ng Bula FM, namban dua na sere.
Bula FM, namban dua na sere.